My name is Kirk Marley with Dovetail Planning. I want to tell a story. I met with a client yesterday, actually, who owns a large farm in the Northwest, and it's a very large farm. It's third generation, and so consequently, there's some landholding companies, and there's some ownership that has some non-farm owners and some farm owners in this landholding company, and we had this discussion about buy sell and about how to get the ones bought out who don't have an interest in the farm except for just in the rental income from the land holding company. So we were talking about buy-sell agreements and talking about term life insurance and conversion privileges. And so I had about a 5-minute conversation into the term insurance and buy-sell discussion, and then he said, "What are conversion privileges?" And so conversion is part of a life insurance contract, a term life insurance contract sometimes, that allows you to take your insurability that you had when you bought the term life and then have the right for a certain period of time to convert it into a permanent life policy. And you might ask yourself, why is that so valuable? Well, 97% of all term policies do not pay out the death benefit. And it's not that they wouldn't pay it out if you were to die during that time period, but they really are designed to insure you while you're healthy and then to sort of go away or become cost prohibitive when you're older. So they're really not, they're designed for a temporary situation, but companies offered conversion privileges as sort of an inducement to buy term when they first came up with term insurance, and now companies are pulling back because it has such a benefit. It's so valuable that companies are realizing that they don't want to offer it anymore, or at least they're restricting it. And so what it does, for example, I'll give you an example. I have this client of mine who has some restaurants, and he and his brothers had some insurance for their buy-sell agreement. And the one brother, they each had $10 million of coverage, and it was term life, 20-year level term. And because it was a large enough policy back in the day, we had to find 2 companies for the $10 million for each one of the brothers. There was a capacity limitation. And so we had $5 million for this one brother in one company and $5 million in another company, both 20-year level, both reasonable rates, both at a standard non-tobacco rate. So fast forward 20 years later, and this middle brother has bought his other brothers out. He didn't need the insurance on his other brothers, or we made a play on a few things with the other brothers, but for him, he needed the insurance for his estate, for estate liquidity, because it's a very large estate. And so, but that term was going to expire, and after he bought the insurance, he had a heart attack. And then developed diabetes. And so he was uninsurable. I mean, we tried to replace that term over that 20 years to extend it 2 or 3 times, and we couldn't get a offer, which means no one at any rate would give him a new policy. So now, as the policy is going to expire, we're relegated to what the conversion privileges offer. On the one policy, we're able to take that $5 million, and now he's 70-something years old, and we converted the $5 million to permanent insurance. It would never expire. It lasts for his whole lifetime. I think it was $170,000 in premium a year for the $5 million. But because of his current health, his life expectancy really is about 12 or 13 years. So if you look at paying even 15 years at $170,000, that's whatever that is, 2.8 million, or bad math probably, but it's probably about 2.8 million on the 5 million, which is still there's still some value there for the kids to have some liquidity in the estate. On the other 5 million, it was convertible, but it was convertible to their conversion product. The company has a conversion product which was unaffordable, and inside of 5 or 6 years, the premium would have eclipsed the value of the death benefit. So they offered this privilege that was a non-privilege. And so this man, though, because he was had a conversion and he was standard when he bought the policy, was able to convert to a standard permanent policy, which otherwise would have been unavailable. And so when I work with clients, and especially when I sell term, and I sell a lot of term insurance if it's applicable, but always with the eye of a potential conversion, because generally my clients have their foot on the gas and are growing their wealth. and their need for insurance may change, the application, going from maybe spousal protection to asset transition to estate tax planning to whatever. But the need remains. Application changes, need remains. So when you buy term insurance, you need to consider the conversion privileges and realize that new term, many policies don't have any conversion privilege. Or if they have a conversion privilege and it's a 20-year level term, they may offer you conversion for 3 years. And then for year 3 to 7, they may offer you a conversion into their conversion product, which no one would ever buy unless you're on death's door. And then after that, it's gone. So know your policy, review the conversion privileges. If you don't have those, see me and I will give you an idea what it will cost to have a quality policy that can convert into something permanent as your needs change.